I'm your host, Mike, and together we're the Two Crude Dude Crew. Yeah, we're finally starting. I mean, 15 minutes late, but we're here. Technical difficulties. My work was kicking my ass. That was the technical difficulties, which we will get to that later in this podcast. That's our goal. That's what we're shooting for. Just like Ruben in bed. Actually, I don't know how he is in bed. I've never slept with him. Did you mess up
They
again? So
couldn't
we're gonna
hear
have to
me.
start over.
They couldn't hear me. They couldn't hear
Oh, they,
me.
they could hear me,
Wow.
so they can hear me talking shit about you, but not your
Yes.
response. That's
Yes. All
hilarious.
right.
Can they hear you now?
So,
Are you now present?
yeah, I am now present. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Ruben.
And you already heard I'm Mike. That's the other
Exactly.
half of the Dude Crew.
Yes. And this is our podcast again. So we're going to be talking about a lot of topics. We are filled to the brim with topics, but I definitely. Someone just said Big Dick Mike.
Damn straight. Someone knows my energy.
So yes, so guys, so we have a lot to talk about. But first, I will say we will have our first guest on next Sunday. Mike, who is our first guest?
Our first guest is a gaming buddy that we have. He goes by Tortaloons Online, Milton in real life. So we'll be looking forward to having him on here talking about random bullshit.
Yes, yes, 100%. I play with Milton. He's a really cool guy, but I do have, whenever I can find it, I do have a couple shout outs to give out for the people who shared our first post. So first shout out is Little Mac 02. He is actually
Whoop, whoop.
he's actually a streamer. He's a cool streamer. He's a cool guy. I know him personally, so
And
thank you,
we
Big
plan on
Mac.
having him on the show at some
Thank you.
point too.
Yes, we do. I actually talked to him about that. We'll get to that. I actually asked him somewhere like in February, like end of February, beginning of March, maybe
I
even
mean,
sooner. But yeah, but
I would
anyway,
say like
so
that's so long. I mean, I guess the beginning.
yeah, I mean we really don't know how this is gonna turn out, to be completely and honestly fair. Second, he said Daddy Mac.
Oh
um,
yeah.
Also, we have another shout out. I'm probably not saying this right, and God forbid. Crimp. So it's CYPHFRMTTS. I will actually drop that in the chat. So that is his Twitter. He gave us a shout out. He seems like he plays games and everything, so I'm gonna hit him up to see if he would like to be a guest on our podcast as well, since he did take time to actually retweet our post. Thank you so much. And the last shout out is going to be for Funny Stone, the artist poet is his name. You'll know it because he's holding a Corona and he has a cigarette in his mouth. His at is at Stormboard
Oh, he's got Corona.
1966. No, he's got a bottle of Corona.
A whole
No,
bottle. Man, some people just get like a few germs of it.
But yeah, guys, so that is our shout outs for today. I definitely want to say thanks for everybody who's tuning in right now. Thanks for everybody who's going to be tuning in into the future, because I have not fully posted this actually. So just gonna snag a couple pictures real quick. So, Mike, what is your first topic that you want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to bring up a great lady who just recently passed coming into the new year, Miss Betty White. 99 years.
Yes, Betty. Wow.
She was a few weeks short of being 100 and she passed. Like, that woman was amazing, godsend. And if you ask people who worked with her, apparently she was also very dirty. She loved making inappropriate jokes,
Yes.
which means she would have been one of my favorite people to get to know. I actually
So
just started binge watching Golden Girls like 2 days after I heard she passed. I was just all like, Hulu, oh, hey,
so
thanks for being a friend.
so yes, Betty White was an amazing person. She was. I remember my grandmother and I used to watch all her shows, The Golden Girls, which was pretty funny. And I was kind of I would say forced to because I never took an interest. I wanted to go play Minecraft whenever I was younger. I didn't care. I honestly
You get a
didn't. But
chance now, though, you should definitely see about watching it.
mhm.
It's funny, some of the things they reference in Golden Girls is still relevant today,
Yes, that is
which
true.
that shows you how timeless that show actually is.
Yes, yes. Definitely like that. That is honestly one of the greatest historical old timey shows, and especially the actor Betty White. I mean, she was so amazing. She was energetic. She gave out a lot of good energy whenever she did perform.
Funny thing, whenever people would ask how she lived so long, she said she was avoiding anything green, and so far it was working out for her.
Really? Wow. That's
Yep,
kind of cool. That's kind
that
of cool.
was
I
that
never
was
knew
what
that.
she said.
I never knew that. I actually did not. So it was funny. So this was so like horrible with Mike getting his ass kicked at work that we really didn't have time to discuss each other's topics. So
Yep, so like y'all are literally just getting the raw, just we're going
yes,
at it.
yes, the raw just
No
just going at it and
condoms, just raw
talking.
dog.
But yes, 100%. Betty White was amazing. She was. Um, if you don't mind if I bring up our second topic of tonight, which I
No, I
think
mean
will
this
go on
conversation
very
it flows
long.
as it goes.
Yep.
We'll just talk and we'll talk and who knows what we'll talk about. So what are we talking about next?
So next, I want to talk about Rocket League, dude. The game that me and you, I feel like, are striving at our best at the moment. So
That I would have to agree with that. That is what we're best at the moment. I mean, we
yes,
try on Apex, and some days we can do it, but most times,
most times not. Most times not.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna start actually trying to watch the videos on how to be better in gunfights.
yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of it is Apex is a fast moving game, but we'll get into
Oh,
Apex at a later podcast. So
oh yeah, we
Rocket
will get to
League.
that. Now with Rocket League, yeah, that's Mister not platinum anymore.
So I was platinum, but I played with a friend, and he was new to the game. I don't have an alt account, so I just played on my regular. Yo, what's up, little Mac? But I'm just genuinely just
Oh, little
a
Mac
regular
here.
player. Yes.
What's up, Big Mac Daddy?
Yep. So with Rocket League, I played with him. I lost my rank. I went all the way down to gold one in duos, which was horrible,
Oh,
horrible. So Mike has been trying to get me back and building me back up to a platinum, which I am almost there. I think I'm gold three. I was platinum last night, but we lost it due to a game. But definitely, I'm thinking we're going to be probably playing a couple games after this, possibly. Who knows?
yeah. I mean, I sure hope so. That's my
Yeah.
plan.
Okay. Okay. That's my plan too.
Okay, I was gonna say if you're going to bed after this, well, fuck you too. I'm gonna go play some Rocket League.
No. 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 So really like how we play Rocket League. We play Rocket League very very. I would say semi-serious, but at a not so serious. So like the not so tryhards. So Mike actually gave us that name a couple of days
I,
ago.
I like that name. It's not the name of our club on Rocket League. No, I'm in love with our name for our club.
Yes,
Which, for those who have maybe played against us, we're the Ku Quack Clan.
yes. So funny thing, reason
All
behind
puns
that.
intended.
Yeah. So Mike is actually the God Pigeon is his gamer tag, and I'm Bionic Nuke or Nuclear. I'm
Birds of a
here as
feather
well.
flock together.
Exactly. So
And for those of you who don't know, the God Pigeon actually comes from Animaniacs. It is one of the gangster pigeons. It is, of course, the Godfather version of the pigeons because they're all mobsters. And he
sweet.
never actually says a word. He always mumbles, and one of the pigeons translates for him.
That's a funny fact. That's a funny fact. But yeah, so we play a lot. We do. Like I think I have what 5 6 days from the video you showed me yesterday. 5 6 days played, and like we just started a couple months. Like I'd say what 4 or 5
And
months
I,
ago.
on the other hand, have how many?
I
Let me
think you had
see.
like
Let me see if I can find.
37. No,
Oh,
no, you had like 64
oh.
days. You had like 64 days.
Uh,
But
is it
going
only
on through it,
64? Because I thought it was a lot higher than that, in all
I
honesty.
have no, I can't remember. But
I'm
we
I'm
play
I'm
a
trying to
lot.
check right now, actually.
So with that is we run into a lot of people, into a lot of different type of people on Rocket League. Some of these people are nice and friendly, and some of these people are not so much. Now there will be
Oh,
games where we go into games, we're on a bankroll, like we are bankrolling people 100%, just whipping everybody's asses, and then we will join lobbies and start talking trash as soon as we join before the first countdown even reaches 0. That is how early sometimes we start, but sometimes we get people who just out of the blue, they'll score the first goal, forfeit, instantly forfeit. But I do that
but we've had a
sometimes, and
few of
we
those
do
games.
that, and we do, and we have came back and kicked a lot of asses. Now, whenever it comes to tournaments in Rocket League, we really haven't done so great. I
But
think
we're
we are,
trying. Hey, we've
yeah,
hit top 8,
we hit
but
top eight one
our
time.
common place seems to be top 16, which we
Not
can get
too
better.
bad.
We
Yeah,
can get better
100%, 100%. But we
if
run
people
into a
can stay off the
lot.
walls when they grab boost.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we are definitely sometimes. And there's one thing I want to talk about with oh crap. Okay, with my I lost my script. I wow.
Oh, fancy! He has a script. I literally have a notepad with just things jotted down. He's fucking telepromptered it.
No, so I'm not like a just of what to talk about, and tonight like tonight's topics and everything. So, but everything for all the games we play, there are certain competition games that we play, and there are certain. I think there was one tournament, and I think this is when I stopped doing it in tournaments because I only did it once. I never get in, but I still do it in competitive games. Is sometimes if it's an important call, I'll pick it up. If it's not important, I will most likely still pick it up. And we will go from 6-0 goosing these people, 2 minutes left in the game, to just
Losing the
losing.
goddamn game.
Yeah, to losing the entire game.
Hello, I'm
And
sorry. Yeah, I missed your call.
yeah, sometimes
Ruben,
I
where are you
will.
at? They scored. My bad.
Yes.
My bad. Yeah. So you were saying?
But yeah, it's funny because there are sometimes where I will, after we score, I will call people back, and usually I'm not back in time, like after calling it back to pick up the controller and go for the ball, which I think is quite funny.
Yeah, I'm not
Because,
salty about it at all.
but yeah, 100%, 100%. We definitely do have a lot and a lot of good and fun times.
Oh yes,
Um,
and every time he does things like that, it just gives me reasons to give him shit.
exactly, exactly. So
That's like
Mike,
he gives me shit when we play games too.
Mike, let's what you got?
All right, so Ruben, I got a question:
Okay.
bath or shower?
Really depends. It really does. I haven't taken a bath in quite a while. I will say it has been years. I'm mostly a shower,
See,
but
see, I love taking a bath. Baths are so just therapeutic, especially after a long day of work. You throw on the hot water, some Epsom salt, and some bubble bath. Just sit and soak. Oh man, your legs never feel better after that.
well, you see, I'm glad that you mentioned that because this is exactly what this bag is full of.
Dude, yeah, there you go. Now, what I recommend is shower, bath, shower. You shower off like the initial like chest and down, get all the dirt off of you, and then you take a bath where you can just sit and relax, so you're not just stewing in your own filth. And
Yeah.
then you shower and freshen up and just get out. Like,
I mean, try to see it. That's a lot of water too. That is 100% a lot of water to use, but I could definitely see that.
well, I
But like,
mean,
I
that's why
just
you speed shower in the first one. You're not trying to take a long shower. Literally, bar of soap, just scrub, 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 rinse, stopper, boom, start taking a
yeah,
bath.
yeah, 100%. Definitely, like I said, I'm just more of a shower type person. It's just I love just standing there and just letting the water just hit the top of my head and just run down.
Oh yeah, no. Sometimes that's exactly what the end of the day needs is just a
Yeah,
hot shower and then just to
And especially with my work. I mean, I'm a diesel tech. I wear boots all the time. I mean, I haven't been a diesel tech for a little bit because I'm on COVID leave at the moment until I believe Thursday. But yeah, I wear
Oh, and
boots with steel toe and everything, and
when
it
when
just
you get the
sucks.
chance, you gotta try a beer in a shower, especially after a long day.
Do you know who you're talking to?
I'm saying,
But yeah,
like,
so 100
like
percent
when you get the
that's a
chance, you
great
gotta
thing.
try that. You gotta try that, Ruben.
That is a great
Like, you
thing.
would be surprised how easy the bullshit of the day goes away when you're sitting there with hot water just running down your neck and you got a cold beer in your hand. Oh, no
Yeah,
feeling is better. That
that
is the
is
perfect of
yes.
fuck everything. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is an amazing thing that definitely happens is just taking a shower after a long day with the nice cold beer. Um, and I mean, like I said, I would, dude. So we're actually looking for houses now. Yo, TTS Havoc, thanks for the follow, man. Welcome to the late night hour. This is the premiere, and I'm your host Ruben, and this is
Mike.
yep, he is the second host of this. This is a joint podcast where we'll be talking about anything, literally anything. And on the now discussion is: would you rather have a bath or a shower? Oh, it's Brendan. What's up, Brendan? Sadek said you're too sexy, man. But but yes, so like what was that? Oh, so we're looking at houses today and he's like, yo, there's this really dope house. It's got room for a jacuzzi. I'm like, then of course, 100%. It's just a little bit kind of weird on how they want us to approach it and get the and be able to get the house. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's just kind of weird because they want like a $250 hold fee from each resident. And
Hold on, you and
then
who?
between me and Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I moved back
Now is this
to
gonna be
SC.
back up in Carolina?
Yeah, yeah, and back up in old South Kakalaki.
See, I can never remember which one. That's why I was just like, yeah, back up in Carolina. It's one of the two of them. So
Yeah, yeah, or depending on if another person is able to room with us, then there will be three of
I'm
us.
sorry, Ruben. I love you, but my wife lives here. I gotta stay down here, man.
No, I get that, I get that. And anyway, that doesn't really matter because who knows what's gonna happen in the future.
Right?
You never know. You never know. But anyway, so let's actually bring up another subject that I think is definitely something that I'm feeling a lot right now. Aging. I am like now peak time of my life. Now to be fair, everybody, I am 20. I am 20 at the moment. I turned 21 in July. Um,
Just for those of you who don't know, I am not 20.
yeah, not 20.
I'm a bit older than that.
Um, so definitely like I'm telling you, my sister, she's almost 30. She is almost 30, and
Yeah, I'm
it
older than
it
that.
surprises me. Yeah, you're 32.
Yep, I'll be turning 33 in like 3 weeks.
I guess that
Like
means I
on the
have to.
day, 3 weeks.
So
Like
that
my
means I have.
birthday's on a Sunday.
So that means I have to drive down in 3 weeks.
Bro, in all honesty, your best bet would be the week before that if you're gonna do it, because that weekend's also Valentine's Day and it is gonna be
Ooh.
busy at work. For those of y'all
Oh,
who
I
don't know,
bet.
I am a server. I work in the food industry. Well, I'm not just a server. I actually almost never serve anymore. So I usually run the kitchen in the back. I'm now technically a culinary professional. But that's what I do. And so, with that being said, yeah, Valentine's weekend is kind of a no fly zone for me. Like, I'm going to be busy out the ass. Like, I was looking forward to requesting my birthday off, and my boss was like, no.
All right. Well, that's a possibility. Depends on how my work does with my COVID pay if I do or not. But yeah, dude. So like, oh, so with my sister, what I was bringing up is she's 30 or almost 30. She has 3 kids. I have my 2 beautiful, lovely nieces, Natalie and Lila, and I have my lovely nephew, David. He's actually playing basketball, and he is doing very good. Sorry about that. Let me, but anyway, like, they're, like, Natalie's almost 11, and, like, like, I just can't fathom to think.
Wow, her plus you almost equals me.
Do what?
Her plus you almost equals me.
Yeah, literally, and that's just it's just a lot. It is 100% just a lot
You
to
looking
go
at your
off
phone?
of. Yes, I have people asking me for stuff.
Tell them
For
watch the
the
podcast and
podcast.
say it in the
That's what they're
chat.
asking me for.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm feeling like just old and just getting there, and like
Just wait till you work all day, and then from the first time you sit up and you go stand up from that, you're just gonna feel it.
yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
And you're a tall guy, you're gonna feel it in the knees.
Ooh.
Yeah, be
Yeah,
prepared for that.
that is definitely
See, I'm
because,
short and husky. I feel it in the back.
well, I
You're
mean,
gonna feel it in the knees.
I feel it in my knees and in my lower back. It definitely hurts, and like I said, I'm cramped in here for 10 days until I am well, so that way everything will be a-okay, because you
Yeah, a
can't.
hot bath will fix that.
No, no,
But you want to put like 2 cups of that Epsom salt in. Don't do like 1. Do like 2 cups.
Yo, dude, bringing that up, I don't know if you remember this, but a while back ago in Florida, there was somebody who took a bath in Epsom salt and started eating people.
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't that they were eating people. They bit someone's face and chewed meat off. Yeah, that was what happened. Yeah, that was a crazy ass thing that happened.
Like,
Yeah,
how
no, I
does
remember.
like that doesn't that just kind of just worry you about today's man-made creations?
Not as much as other things worry me that's going on in the news today. Do you know how many articles there are of people killing their kids?
No,
That worries me.
that's true.
That worries me.
That is true. That is
Dude taking
definitely
bath salt
something.
and biting someone's face in Florida does not work. You know the crazy shit that goes on in Florida?
Yeah, a lot of crazy shit goes down in Florida. A lot of crazy shit goes down in
Like, a
Florida.
dude got arrested for carrying an alligator and a 6-pack of beer in Florida. Yeah.
Like the alligator just carrying the alligator.
Yeah, like he was just carrying the alligator and a 6-pack of beer. And he got pulled over and arrested.
I guess everything does happen in Florida. Dang, I should move to Florida. I should 100%
Speaking
move to
of
Florida.
Florida, the last week of February, I'll actually be out of town in Florida.
Really? Oh, yeah, that is right. You told me you're going on a vacation.
So, FYI, just a heads up, there will be a 2-week hiatus because I will be out of town on a birthday trip. And while I love you very much, Ruben, that is my vacation.
Yeah, yes, I guess.
Like, I will also not be online for almost 2 weeks, and that's going to be hard.
That will be.
Part's going to be hard.
So what we'll probably do is we will probably end up getting just podcasts already recorded, and definitely streaming that and doing that and everything. So hopefully that'll work out. We could definitely try that. Oh my god. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Here's our first ever current world debate. I feel like this is going to go on for a little bit. It is a debate on these nicotine products. So basically, if I'm correct, Trump is the one who gave the executive order that upped the age to buy any product that contained nicotine to 21. Which obviously, isn't really too bad of a thing. A lot of kids are getting a hold of these, and a lot of kids aren't being responsible, and they are killing themselves.
And they're killing themselves.
Yeah, they are killing themselves. So I know of a person who is taking disposables, and I will not name names, but they are taking disposables and they are tearing them apart and charging them. Which I find
try and get the rest,
which I find hilarious because I was 18 at the time, before it became 21, and I just I just walk in the store and buy one, and I saw all these people doing that, And I can honestly tell you how many times I have been asked to go buy nicotine shit for people who were underage, countless of times. They'd be like, no, that's not how me being 18 works. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be your little nicotine dealer that ends up getting caught by our principal at school, because I went to a private school,
Oh
and
yeah,
he
no,
would
that
get
that
chewed
definitely.
out. Like, they would hold you
Yeah.
accountable for stuff you did outside of school.
See, I was the guy who, whenever I used to work for O'Reilly's, I would go hang out with my mechanic buddies, and they would all be your age and younger, and I was, of course, almost 10 years younger myself. And so I was the guy who, bought beer, went, hung out, we drank and worked on cars until we were too drunk, and then we just sat around and did a pretty much non-videoed version of what we're doing now.
Yep, yep.
Just
I mean,
talk about bullshit.
yeah, yeah, and
Which,
that is one thing.
which speaking about mechanics and working on things,
Okay.
that makes me think about my next subject,
Okay, what is that?
which is dropped trucks
Dropped trucks.
and
Wow.
the fact that they're garbage and a waste of money.
Okay, so I have an argument against that. It really depends on the looks for me. So, like, if you get like an older Dodge or an older Chevrolet or older GMC Silverado, anything older, like I'd say pre 1990s, mostly like stuff that was made in the 40s, 50s, and 60s is what I'm actually talking about. The vehicles I'm actually talking about for the people who are viewing, and you, Mike. Those lowered look very nice, like clean, sleek paint job, chrome motor, just everything. The interior's completely redone. It's beautiful. It's amazing, and I love it. But some of these new trucks that are coming out, that they are just slamming to the ground. Just, I don't know. I just don't feel it.
It's for me. While I get what you're saying, and I know a lot of people are like, well, it's aesthetically pleasing. Only to a select few. I think it makes the truck look ugly. The moment you remove the ability, because like the one thing on why I can agree with you with what you're saying on the older cars, the wheels were also spaced out farther away from the beds of the truck. So
Yes.
if it dropped it lower, you don't ruin any of the like bed space.
True. That
But
is
now all
true.
the
That is
newer
true.
trucks, they
You have to.
drop it and then you have no bed space, no trunk whatsoever.
Nope.
It's literally the cabin on a skateboard body.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And
And that's why to
definitely
me
agree
they
with
look
that.
ugly. They're garbage and a waste of. I'm used to 6-inch lifted trucks. It's practical. Also looks pretty badass.
And sorry
Except
everybody for
for
the
it's
little bit of
not
camera
good
lag that
on
Mike is
gas.
having.
What?
I was apologizing for a little bit of camera lag you're having every now and again. It's not like
Oh yeah.
repetitive.
Uh, but like I'm used to like going mudding and
Yeah, well,
towing and
100%. And me, I
all
own
the
a.
things trucks are used for.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever I see someone go, "Oh, look at my new truck, isn't it badass?" and it sits half an inch off the ground, I'm like, "No, you can't even drive over a speed bump."
Nope. No. Now, some people do put their trucks on bags, and they are able to raise that, and I think that looks very nice as long as you're able to make it look factory, or make it look really nice. Now me, I'm more into SEMA type stuff. Stuff like, like these brand new $100,000 vehicles that have just been ripped apart by the undercarriage and then just lifted to the high heavens with these beautiful painted chrome undercarriage and everything like that.
Those are
That is very
gorgeous.
nice. But there's one
And,
thing
and
I have
and
to
while I
say.
appreciate the looks of those, I'm also all about the functionality of it.
Mm,
Like if you're gonna lift it like that, use it. Like yeah,
mm.
it looks cool when you're driving down the street. Do you know how badass it looks whenever you're driving up a mountain?
Yeah, and you do have to say this as well as with like Whistling Diesel. I mean, he bought like $150,000 Ford F-250, if I'm correct. That was SEMA out, and he destroyed it. I mean, completely annihilated it, which is quite hilarious. And I don't know if you see now, but we will actually get into squatted trucks. He bought a squatted truck, and he's bought another one. And the first one, he said to his viewers, just to piss everybody off, he said, "We're going to keep this and keep it as clean as we can." But ended up taking a wood chipper to it and just grinding it up. And now he sells little plastic containers full of full of
of
the
the
grindings of this truck, which is hilarious. I think that is so hilarious. But squatted trucks, they have no utility. There's no purpose to them, and
no,
it just
no,
looks
there's none.
dumb. It looks so stupid. And I know some
It,
people would say
it
I'm putting a
really does.
target on my back for saying that, but who cares? It's the dumbest looking thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Like if you want a car that low, buy a car, not a truck. They make tons of cars that literally sit 2 inches off the ground and take nothing to drop it that 2 inches. And then you can
Exactly.
literally just sit and just grind as you go and be happy.
Exactly. But yeah, 100% like just squatted. No,
I
definitely
mean,
not.
maybe I feel that way because I too am getting old each and every day.
Each and every
Coming
day.
back to a subject, that is a high possibility on why I feel that way.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely could be. So I definitely want to talk about like our professions. I'm a diesel tech. I work on semis, big rigs. I actually work at a fleet company, so we do preventative maintenance stuff. Just simple, easy stuff like that. And it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't do any of that. I am washing and fueling these vehicles, as like an introduction to everything because you have to start somewhere in these careers. You do. You never start out turning wrenches no matter what. Um,
Not
and
unless
I
it's
have
your
to
daddy's
say,
shop.
yes, and I have to say, it's been, it's been definitely one thing. I have a good friend who I work with, Justin. I have another good friend who I used to work with, Eric, and it's just, it's a fun job. It really is, and I think the people that you work with can either make or break your shift. What do you think about that?
Oh, oh, most as absolutely. Like there's like for example, there's a certain manager at my job that they'll be all like, "Hey, will you work a double tonight?" Well, who's the closing manager? Oh, this person. No,
No.
not gonna work a double because that is a person who I don't like to do that for because they are garbage. And in all honesty, I feel like they shouldn't even be a manager. Um, And I know if and when Tortaloons jumps on and sees this, he's going to know exactly who I'm talking about because everyone bitches about this manager.
Yeah, I
Um,
will say I did have one of those managers. I did. Well, I wouldn't say I did. I worked at Taco Bell for 4 months. And it was honestly it was very difficult. It was. I started out under a manager. His name was Charles. Mr. Charles was his name. Um, he was a really nice guy. It's hilarious because we came back from my student government trip and we made it. I made it there on time for the interview, in a suit and tie. So I went to an interview for a Taco Bell application in a suit and tie, which is quite hilarious. I started working there because I wanted to work with two of my good friends, Matthew Epting and Ryan Hyatt. They are both my wonderful and amazing friends, and I love them to death.
so real
Matthew
quick
is actually
on
currently
note on what
engaged.
you went to dressed in, they always say dress for the job you want. So like
Yes,
if you're going
exactly.
there going, you know what, I'm coming here because I want to be a manager. You're not going to show up in a t-shirt and jeans. You're going to show up in slacks, a button up, a tie.
Yeah, exactly. You always want to overdress. It's better to be overdressed and underdressed. It's better to be over prepared than not prepared at all. But it's funny. So I worked
That
there.
being said, I've actually been turned down from an interview because I overdressed. They said I
Wow.
didn't dress for the position that I was applying for. And I thought that was kind of shitty, but
Oh,
I've
that's
only ever had
definitely
that
shitty.
happen once. So,
That is. Well, then a new manager came. I can't remember his name to tell. Mike. It was Mike. That was his name.
it was
Um,
not me, I swear.
no, it was not. It was not this Mike. Not this Mike. Definitely not this Mike.
I
But
have never once, nor probably will I ever work at Taco Bell.
yes. So he was a decent guy. He wanted results. He didn't want just you to just half-ass it, which I enjoyed. But the one thing he did that really kind of ticked me off is we had a new person come in who
Blow
was
your
going.
nose or something, man.
No, I'm just like wiping my face because my eye keeps itching. But
Oh, okay.
anyway, so he got this new person who was being hired in as a shift leader to come and boss me around. Just get me to
I
do
hate when
things.
people do that. Oh, hey, I'm hiring this new person who has no,
Idea
like,
what they're doing. So this guy
they're
told
going to
me,
be your boss.
oh no, this guy he was all right. We got along after he told me to do the first. He said, "Go clean the refrigerator." He asked if I could. I said, yeah, sure. I will clean out the freezer. I got halfway done through that project. He came in, hey, I need you to clean the vents. I'm like, I'm not done with this. You want me to finish? He's like, no, just go. You'll come back. We did this 7 times. 7 different tasks, all of them unfinished before he wanted me to get started on the next one. And I went out and I walked outside. I walked outside. I'm like, I need a breath before I tell this guy how much of an idiot you are. You were leaving me these tasks that are half-assed done, and it's gonna get me in trouble. So Mike steps out. He's like, "Hey, you good?" I'm like, "No, this guy needs to chill out. He needs to chill out." Mike said, "I'm sorry, I did that." I'm like, "Yeah, wow." Turned in my 2 weeks notice the next day. He called me 3 weeks later after I had started my next job at Static said you're too hot for Taco Bell. And Max said
Oh,
valid.
absolutely.
And Max said valid. So then I started out at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now I will say I worked at O'Reilly's for 3 years, and I will hard vouch for O'Reilly's. I will.
And
They
I worked for them 3 years too. And honestly, I loved the company. It was
yes,
the manager was the reason why I ended up quitting.
yes. O'Reilly's is I will say a wonderful company. Now, yes, I would say their pay is not up there with other auto part companies, but
Well,
you
that
get
depends on what
commission.
you do.
It does. It depends on what you do.
Because me, I ended up being an RSS, which is retail service
And that's
specialist.
what I was.
And what did you make? Because I made easily about 50,000 as an hourly employee
Yeah.
working.
So with me, I really I'm in school, so I'm not really trying to
Oh
work
yeah,
all
that's
these
right. You would have
hours.
school, so you wouldn't even work. Yeah, because I was full time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was
Well,
working 60 hours a week.
I was working. I was working 40. Sometimes I would pull some doubles, but a 6:30 to 10 o'clock at night is very hard.
Yeah, no,
But I
see, my
worked.
shift was usually 7 in the morning till 11 at night, like
Yeah.
Monday through Sunday.
Well, I will say I worked at store 1476 in a small town called in South Carolina. I'll just say it's a small town in South
Kickapoo?
Carolina. Yeah. And it was amazing. It really was. I loved everybody there. I loved Trenton. He was the coolest assistant manager you could have ever asked for. You had TC. He was an amazing guy, brilliant manager. He knew how to run a store, and he wanted things to be like progressive, and he wanted stuff to get done, and that's what I liked. But he would not make you go do this obviously too difficult for one person task without offering his own assistance before grabbing somebody else to assist.
See, like my manager was Jeff. He was big on add-ons. That was his thing that he pushed was you got to get your add-ons.
Oh,
And
RPMs,
that was where I
RPMs,
excelled was add-ons. I was great
RPMs.
at being able to go like, oh, and would you like some battery gel for your batteries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll get that. Cool. It's only 99 cents.
Yeah, yeah. So they're related sales is what we mean by add-ons. So batteries, if you sold
Like
battery
if
grease,
someone
if you
buys a
bought
battery.
oil, buy a funnel, stuff like that. Like easy, light bulb, get light bulb grease. So that's how we
That
would
was the
be
hardest thing to
judged.
sell.
Yes, that
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 that that
was.
was the hard.
But
Sell
you
the
did get
light
the
bulb
filter.
grease.
Yeah, the light bulb grease. That was difficult. And brake pads. And the brake
I had
pad.
an
Now
easier
I
time
was
selling
told.
blinker fluid.
Oh no. Well, see, I was told that whenever you sell the brake pads, you add the brake pad grease and just take a packet and slide it in the box and don't tell them you're charging. I was told to do that, and I never did that because that's stupid. That's literally illegal. That is 100% illegal. That has to be. But my career at O'Reilly's was amazing. I really did thoroughly enjoy it. Um, so that's most of my topics. I do have a couple more to bring up since we are still running still early. So, Mike, did you have another topic?
Well, I was going to mention remakes of old cartoons.
Remakes of old cartoons. So I can.
Absolutely. Like, for instance, ones that we were talking about offline behind the camera. Teen Titans. It was
Yes.
an old DC Universe show with Robin, Cyborg, Raven, Starfire, and Beast Boy. and it was a great show. I loved it. It
That it
lasted
was.
what, 2 seasons, maybe three,
I think
and
so. I think so.
then it like ended, and then years later they came out with Teen Titans Go.
So funny you say that. Thermostatic just said, "Bro, Teen Titans was fire, but then Teen Titans Go, oh my god, like you."
Teen
So
Titans Go was so bad, they made an episode calling themselves out, going, "Yeah, we know it sucks." It was literally a whole episode of them sitting on a couch, eating popcorn, and fucking watching Teen Titans going, "Dude, this was awesome. Dude, was that the last episode? What happened to them? Where did that show go?" And they were all like, "It got canceled."
so one thing I do have to say is that I remember Pokemon.
See,
I remember
Pokemon's
the
one of
old
those,
Pokemon.
like, my kids, I have kids, and they love all versions of Pokemon, and I'm trying to watch it now, and I swear I'm expecting like a door type Pokemon to just be all like "Psh, Dormon," be all like, "Oh, okay."
No, 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 no. So I will say I watched a lot of Pokemon, but I mostly played their games.
Oh, I
I
was a
played
big fan of the games. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the card game.
I was
That
huge in
I
the card
never
game.
really gave it a I never really gave it a shot to learn it. As far as card games go, I was more Magic the Gathering was mine. I
I
played
played that too.
Yu-Gi-Oh when it first started, and then that's another show that after so many different just changes and remakes, the last Yu-Gi-Oh show I saw, they were fucking having a duel on a fucking motorcycle driving
Wow.
through town fighting. And I'm just like, what is this bullshit? Vroom,
Wow.
vroom. Oh, you activated my trap card. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I used to
Now,
play Magic and I used to play Pokemon cards as well. But the two games I'm referring to that I loved the best was Pokemon Heart Gold on the Nintendo. I played that for hours on it. I mean, just straight hours on it. And I also played Pokemon. I believe it was Sword is the one I bought on the
oh
Nintendo
yeah,
Switch.
that'd be
Was a
the
very
one of the
good
newer
game.
ones. That had Sword and Shield. For me, the one I spent hours in was Crystal with Suicune, the one with the little boop on its head. Yeah, that was
Yep.
my favorite one to play. That was the one I played it on my Game Boy SP. It was the clear purple one with the little light up thing on it. It was dope.
Yeah, yeah. That was definitely that was pretty cool. I did
Like
like
that,
that.
that was childhood
Hmm.
nostalgia right there. Well, for
Yeah.
me, that was more teenager while you were still what, 5?
Probably. Probably. I'm a
Now, in
youngin.
terms of cartoons that have been remade that are actually really good, you have Thundercats. That one was
I've never
actually
really
really
watched
dope. The
it.
remake is, oh my god, it's badass.
Okay.
Fucking He-Man. He-Man's really good, and Voltron.
Voltron. Really never. I
Voltron
haven't
was
heard of
pretty much
those.
like the cartoon version of Power Rangers.
Really haven't heard of those. To be fair with you.
I mean, those were like old, like 80s and 70s cartoons that got remade kind of recently, especially He Man. He Man was remade, I think, last year by Netflix. And I'm not sure if they were the ones who did Thundercats or not, but I know Thundercats got remade. There's actually quite a few of them. Like Powerpuff Girls was remade, but with the
That
way
is
that it was
true.
drawn originally, you can barely tell it's a new show. It still looks and kind of feels like the old show,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
guess means it's good for a remake because it feels like the old one.
True, true,
Now,
true.
I will say, even though it took on the art style of the stupider shows like Teen Titans Go, um, Dexter's Laboratory with what it became, and a few others. Um, Animaniacs is actually still pretty solid in keeping how they were the original shows.
Yeah, true. Well, I really never got into all that. Mostly what I watched was Phineas and Ferb. Well, I used to watch a lot of Scooby Doo. Not really. I used to somewhat watch Scooby Doo.
I like the
Honestly.
original and What's New Scooby Doo. They had one where it was like it's one of the newer ones where like they're all different and it's horrible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%.
I remember a pup named Scooby Doo.
Oh, pup. Oh, in real life. Well,
No,
actually,
no, no,
there
no,
was
no, no,
a.
no. It's a cartoon show called A Pup Named Scooby Doo.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
It's a '90s cartoon.
Well, it's fun. So I went to Pigeon Forge for Shades of the Past, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Beautiful place. I definitely recommend everybody visit there. It is magnificent. There's a lot of fun activities to do, go karts, movies. You can actually go through a Titanic, like a remake of a Titanic as like a museum, Wonder World. I mean, there's a lot, and also Splash Mountain, Dolly Parton slash Splash Mountain, and the amusement park as well as there. So we go there
And
every
cancer.
September.
You can get cancer there too.
So we
No, no,
went.
I'm just kidding. No cancer. No cancer.
And there's this van there. That was a Scooby Doo van. It was really cool. It really was. And there was a lot of there was a Roadrunner, Dodge Plymouth that had the it's one of the rarest for I can't remember the exact name of it, but it has the big wing that comes up like this in the back. I'd have to find a video of, or a picture of that. I'll show you a picture later. But I mean, it's a Dodge Plymouth. It's older. I think it's 60s or 70s model. But they had that there, which is one of the rarest cars. I think it's like a $1.6 million car right now.
Oh,
Is how much?
Jesus.
Yeah, it was completely original. All of it original motors, original spark plug. All of it was original from factory. So that's the reason why it was so expensive. Is because it's just been kept like that for so long. Yeah, but that
It
was.
reminds me of this guy that I heard about whenever I worked in O'Reilly's. That there was this guy who he was like an older gentleman, and he had this Chevy truck that he would drive to and from Florida, like on a weekly basis. He would drive to and from,
Yeah, yeah.
and every time he would come back, he would get an oil change, and like it was still coming out just perfectly clear golden. And the mechanics were like, "Hey, you don't need to do this. Like, you can make a couple of trips." And he was all like, "No, it makes me feel better." And it was like a 1992, like Chevy Silverado,
Mm-hmm.
might have been 1500 or one, whatever they were at that time.
Oh yeah. Well, older vehicles
Um,
will definitely outperform any newer vehicle on the road right now.
well, uh, after he drove it to the point to where the speedometer reset because it was one of the spin dial
Oh
speedometers
wow.
because it was an older '90s car. It didn't have the digital speedometer. He literally drove it till it reset. When they tested the engine still ran factory new because of how often he oil changed.
Wow.
Chevy bought the truck off of him for like an exuberant price and gave him a free truck
Wow.
because they wanted to showcase. And like he used Chevron, I think was what he used.
Chevron is a good brand. Chevron is a good brand. I usually use castor oil. Is what I usually use. But I do have to say with newer vehicles and this newer type of EV crap that's going around is that I believe in it. Yes, I do. And I was completely against the semi Tesla truck. I was completely against it, and I actually watched a video on it, and it's really cool to see how this stuff works. It's just I don't see how do I explain it? How some of these people are thinking like this is going to be completely EV in the next 3 years or so. Which, if I'm correct, I believe President Biden signed a executive order that says that America has to be full EV by 2025. If I'm correct,
Has to be
which
fully what?
EV, which I believe I'm wrong. I don't know if that's correct. Somebody can fact check me. But I believe it was him or somebody of cabinet who signed that order, and I was like, there's no possible way we could do that because I mean, you're thinking
Yeah,
that
like
that's
there's no way you can enforce a law like that unless you're literally gonna go to every house and be all like, "Hey, here's keys to your new electric vehicle."
exactly, and
Ta-da!
that's
Oh,
well,
and
I
hey,
don't think
here's the
that's how it's
charge
gonna work.
for it.
No, I think what it is that you no longer will you be able to buy like or
Oh
a
yeah,
combustion
yeah.
vehicles, which I
They
still
will
think is
slowly try
stupid.
to
Which I think is stupid
outmode.
because I mean, sure, gasoline, yes, it is a semi-scarce product, but the simple fact is that we are able to reuse a lot of these fossil fuels and a lot of different things as well, and there's a hell of an abundance of it. There is, but these EV vehicles are really cool, but I mean, diesel generators and stuff like that. If you ever look at how these electric vehicles are charged, you will see mostly a diesel generator sitting somewhere generating power for
Like,
for those
yeah,
units.
that would be the other thing. If you're going to get rid of vehicles like that, are you going to try and get rid of every single form of like gas burner?
Yes,
Because I
exactly.
mean, all power converters, you would then have to be all like, hey, those have to be solar.
Yeah, which I mean,
Like,
solar power is amazing, but
oh, it actually is.
there's no way you could catch that much energy to charge these vehicles like that. I would feel like we don't have the technology
No,
yet to do that.
actually, there was one thing that I'd seen where this dude he builds this generator that what it does is the battery generator that's connected to his car is connected to a belt that's connected to his tire. So as he drives, it spins and it charges the generator with the
Okay,
spin motion, and then it recharges his car.
that's
Which
pretty
that
cool.
is one of the most ingenious things ever because all you have to do is, oh crap, all right, well let me pull off the road and turn my electric generator on and just sit here while my car charges. You
Yep.
can literally charge wherever.
Oh yeah,
But for
100%.
some reason, that's not a standard factory thing inside of these vehicles because corporate America wants to charge money for electricity.
Well, I do have to say this um, with wow, I just lost it. Oh, so Tesla. It was funny. I watched this video on YouTube the other day. I can't. And there's another topic as
Was
well
it
with
Thomas
trains.
Edison versus Nikola Tesla in epic rap battles?
No, no, no. It was not that.
No?
It was
Oh,
not
okay.
that. So it was actually these people bought it. These guys bought a Tesla and they took the motor out of a Hellcat and put it in this Tesla, and started drag racing people on the road, which was hilarious because who would you expect to see a Tesla just fly by you, just roaring? Yeah, exactly, just roaring. And I think that is the funniest and the most hilarious thing ever. And then I saw this as well. I can't remember. It was a Canadian. It was a Canadian company. Just invented the brand new EV train. They have schematics for it, and they are trying to be able to produce the first ever EV train, which I think is amazing. But still, that's a lot of cargo. You're talking hundred millions of pounds of cargo on these trains. I mean, it takes a lot to get these trains that are diesel powered to get up to speed. And I saw that, with the Tesla semi truck is able to get up 60 miles an hour faster. But will this EV train be able to uphold what it is projected to do?
Well, that all depends on how they get it running.
Exactly.
Because one of the things that it can is it could have it to where the rails itself are
Or charging. That
electric. Yeah, they're
wow.
charged, and it's going to charge it. Now, of course, if they do that, then wherever that train is, it has to be completely gated off because it's one of those. Hey, if a train's nearby and you touch this, you're gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that would definitely that'd be
The amount
thousands
of
of
voltage
volts.
that would have to
Oh
charge
yeah.
that train
And that would have to
so
be
it can pull the load
yeah,
would
yeah.
be ridiculous.
And that would have to be direct current as well. So the difference between direct current and alternator current is alternating current is you have to. It's like from an alternator. Yes, it'll jolt you, but it's not going to do anything. DC current, which is what would be used to have to power that, is just a lot of times stronger than alternating current. And DC current actually grabs a hold of you whenever you are being electrocuted. And you have to have somebody beat you off with something in order to free you. Because if they touch you, then it's just an ongoing
They're going to
thing.
get trapped.
Exactly. So that would
Imagine a
definitely, I didn't
really
think of that.
powerful taser touching you, and then someone goes, "Hi."
Yep.
Yeah, same
All
thing.
of it. All of it. Take all of it. Just keep it going. But yeah, I really think like the EV power
It
in this
reminds me of
world.
this video I'd seen where these kids are all like standing up on things, and then they're holding this electric fence, and because they're not touching the ground, they're not grounded. And then the last one holding hands jumps off and touches the ground, and then they just all and they all just fall to the ground.
Yeah, that is actually quite funny. So like anyway, you can go to these like power line poles out on the street. I'm not recommending this. Do not do this, please God. You can grab a hold of one of those wires as long as you're not touching anything else. You don't have any metal or anything on you. You're perfectly fine. Now it is going to be hot, but you would not be electrocuted. But as soon as you ground yourself, you're done. You could touch the wooden pole. You could touch anything, and you're done. Which is just amazing about,
which is how
Kurt and all that.
pigeons can sit on top of the power cords
Yes, exactly.
because they're not touching anything else. They're just not Wiku.
Nope. But yes. So we have been live for an hour. Thanks everybody who is tuning in and who's still tuning in. We are going to start here in a bit to wrap things up. We're going to get maybe 2 or 3 more topics in. Chat if you'd like to. Whoever's watching, throw a couple topics in, just real quick.
Men. That's right. We had a shout out.
Oh yes, we have to talk about.
We had to talk about men.
Okay, so here's my opinion. We're dicks. We're assholes. To hell with all of you.
Oh man, you see, I was gonna be all like Ryan Reynolds, sexy. Paul Giamatti, not so much.
Little Mac, sexy. Me, eh.
I mean, in the right dark room,
It's Tax over here, Mac Daddy, let's go. Or Mike Daddy, let's go.
There you go.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Let's see. Well, getting on the whole subject of men in general, like people seem to misunderstand a lot of things. Like let's take for example the phrase "a men's world." What happened?
Bro, Mike gonna make me act up. Wow. This went from late night hour to late night porn.
Can I get a higher?
No. Definitely not.
Okay,
Definitely
anyway,
not.
Like you've heard the term "it's a man's world," right?
Yeah, I think I have. I want to say I have.
There's even a song, "This is a man's world."
Never. Never.
Well, you know why it's said that way?
Why?
Who do you think built your apartment that you're living in right now? Men or women?
Men.
Who do you think built that dresser?
That?
Yeah.
Me.
Well, I mean, like, who do you think put all the stuff together in the box for you to build it?
Robots.
Who do you think controlled those robots? Who do you think built those robots? Probably men.
Well, I mean, you'd have to go back to when robots were invented, because now robots are being built by other robots.
Who built all the stores? Like what I'm getting at is,
to be fair,
how many women do you see in construction?
Not so many. I do see some, but not so many.
But that's like now. Now, if you go back 10 years, you wouldn't see a female in construction at all.
I'd say a little bit beyond that. I would say a little bit back than that. I would say a little bit back.
I mean, I guess you're right. But like, you go back 20 years, in the year
20 years definitely. 20 years definitely.
Women were not doing
you would see certain, but you wouldn't see a lot.
Like, and then even then, the ones working construction were like secretaries.
True.
You would barely see one climbing up the rafters. Hey Jim, I need more concrete. You wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see that. Like that didn't happen. The same thing. Go back 20 years. Who do you think worked on cars? Who do you think built cars? Like, yeah, there were some, but those were the ones who, they grew up as the only child and their dad was a mechanic. So of course they picked it up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it is today where, there are women who pursue that. Because, I mean, yeah, there's girls who, they can talk cars circles around me, and I'll just be like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Definitely. Elon Musk. Thermostatic City, Elon Musk.
He's eccentric and he's crazy. One of the things that's interesting about him is the way that he goes about his money. People give him shit, but the way he works his money is kind of crazy. Like his stocks and bonds that he has with his company, if he ever tries to take it out and try to actually use it, it would horribly be taxed.
Oh yeah, 100%. Horribly. Elon Musk is scheduled to be the richest man in the world, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, he is, and he was also talking about like when he pays taxes, it's like 500 something thousand that he has to pay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
And then good old ex-president Donald Trump. I prepaid mine.
I prepaid my.
I wish it worked that way. Just like how I wish you could actually pick and choose what you pay the government for. Hey, I don't
Yeah,
want to support the war, but I want to support welfare. Old people and veterans still need to be taken care of. I could totally get behind that.
that is true. That I do have to
Like
back that
I could
100%.
totally get behind that, because if I feel like if I don't agree with us being out there in Iraq, I shouldn't have to pay for it.
I mean, I
Don't
do
ask me
see
to
that.
pay
I
for
do
it.
see
I don't
that.
think we should be there.
Like there's 100%. The reason is that we are still funding our people in service. But to be fair, whenever it comes to that, I mean, the Iraqi war was kind of a shot in the dark
Well,
that didn't need
here's
to
my
happen.
problem with that though, is America tries to play the world police, and now we're at a point where
Hang on, hang
everyone
on.
expects that out of us.
I do have to say, I don't feel like that was all about world police, the Iraq war. A lot of it was
No, 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 no. I
oil.
mean, and in general, because of how many different places we occupy for the safety of others.
We occupy a lot of countries.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that specific instance was because of world police. It's one of those. There's a UN for a reason. Why do we have to be the country responsible for keeping everyone in check? We're the babiest of countries,
Yes, but our
having to
economic.
take care of
Wait.
these old ass countries. Like, here, let me wipe your ass. You're
Well,
too old.
let me piggyback off the top of that. Is that yes, we might be a I don't know. I believe you said baby back country.
Yeah, like we're a
So
fledgling country in comparison.
so what I would say about that is that yes, but we are also one of the biggest superpowers in economic and even as economic strength, we are very
But
high
the
on the
problem is
list.
we're losing that. Do you know how big our debt is?
Oh
That is
yeah,
where our
100%.
economic strength lies.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people don't realize our debt is what keeps us safe.
Yeah,
People don't want to fuck with us because if we get fucked with, China doesn't get their money.
yeah, and it's not just like even if our economy fails, it affects thousands or hundreds of countries. I wouldn't say thousands. I don't think there's thousands of countries, but hundreds of countries. It will affect properly the entire globe because if our economy fails, China's economy fails, and there's no way we could
I don't know about
keep
that
every.
because we're pretty dependent on China's economy.
Well, I
Well,
wouldn't
I
say
feel
that.
like
Well,
they're not
it's
nearly as dependent on us.
well, no, you would say this as well. You would say this as well is that we're a lot of countries have bought into our economy as well. And a lot of
Oh
economies
yeah, no,
who
most
buy into
absolutely.
our economies also buy into China's economies. And if we fail, we're done. I mean, it's just a complete just decline of a shit show.
And
Um,
the sad part is it feels like that's coming though.
yes, and
Because more and more we're trying to cut off funding towards the welfare programs and try to fund more towards militant and authoritarian
kind of.
issues. And like, I feel like that's why we're pretty much going, where are we and why are we in this handbasket?
Well, I would say let's bring it to a different kind of scene for a bit because I think we have enough time for maybe one more good topic, and I think that topic would be Apex. Since we did
Oh,
touch
so
on
not a
Rocket
later
League,
podcast, just later in this podcast.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
just go through. So let me say, I started playing Apex in a clan on a team, and it was really good. I played in season 1, season 2, 3, 4, and I used to be
I
very
started
very
season
good.
zero.
Yeah, I started preseason 1 as well, season 0.
That season zero is what everyone is deemed to call it, apparently. Season zero is when there was no season. It
Yep.
was literally just a game about killing people.
Exactly. And I will say that I used to be really, really good. And I still am able to pop off some games.
Like
But
like some games, I can carry my own and get 1,000 worth of damage, a couple of
mm,
kills, and then other times it's all like, oh hey, I hit someone for 2 damage
I will
and
say
then
this.
died.
This is hilarious. I was in a ranked game the other day with two randoms. It was us and two other squads left. I had 9 kills at the time. Teammates had 1, and I think the other teammate had 2. I almost had my 4K badge. I was at 3,000 damage, and I was like, I'm gonna push both of these teams who just started fighting by myself, and hopefully my team follows and is able to keep up. I get there, down 3 of them instantly. 2 people on one team, 1 person on the other team, finished them, boom, secured my damage and everything. I have, I think, 3,600 damage by that. I down 1 more, so it's 1v1v3, and one of my teammates dies to Storm. I'm like, where are you? Other teammate goes back into Storm, throws down a heat shield to res him, but it's too late. You're going to die. It's the last ring. There's no saving yourself. So it's a 1v1v1 essentially. I'm dead. I am like sliver of health trying to reheal so that way I can pick back up in this fight because all these people are dead now. It's just 1v1v1. I heal up, push out, nail the person on my left, didn't get the knock, and I got shot in the back of the head by a Kraber. And that was, it was horrible. It really was. It was horrible. I believe I've left that game with 14 kills. And second place,
nice
or third place.
Kill,
third place.
Almost got your 20 bomb, too.
Yeah, 3986 was my damage.
Oh.
Literally 14 more damage, I'd have my 4K badge for Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Really,
I got my first 2K badge with Caustic. That made me happy.
Yeah. That was... I have my 2K
That made
badge.
me hella happy.
Oh, yeah. I 100% have my 2K badge. I just forgot what I character.
Now hearing about that, though, it reminds me of this thing that I'd seen. And I actually messaged the dude afterwards because I saw his name and was able to get it. I was playing a game, and it was on Kings Canyon. And I was sitting on a spot, and I had a longbow. And I'm looking into this building, and I see this dude move, and he, like, crouches behind a door, and he's, like, hiding in a spot. This whole squad runs into the room, looks around, and walks out of the room. And then right as they walk out of the room, I just go, boop, and insta-dead. He was the last one alive on the team. Just one shot, headshot, dead.
I do love those.
And I messaged him, and I was all like, sorry about that. Almost missed you there. And he was just like...
Well, 100%. And that's hilarious. But we do love it.
For me, like, I main Caustic. I'll also play Mirage. And lately I've been enjoying Bloodhound lately. I've been picking him up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mostly play Path or Valkyrie, one of the two. Path really isn't as much support as Valkyrie, but definitely a good.
And then you got Luke Goblin Loba, played by Milton now.
Yes. Or in what does he call it? Ignorant Octane is what he calls it. Ignorant Octane.
Go do some ignorant shit.
Yep. Anytime he says that, he's dead. He's dead. You can't save him. He's done. He's gone.
Which we still try. We try.
Yep.
And then we turn around and do stupid shit too, and he'll be like, "Where the fuck you at? Well, I'm not near you."
Yep. So I will say we're good. We are good. So I want to say, or you got anything else to add? Or you want to go ahead and call this episode 1 premiere?
Yeah, this feels like a good solid episode. Thanks everyone who came on and participated and chatted with us, and we're glad y'all were here for the birth of this new thing we're doing, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will see you next week, and hopefully we will have actual new overlays. You will love them. They are amazing. It is going to be pristine and amazing. And again, I want to give another shout out to, wow, if I can stop joking over here, to the people who shared our...
What are you joking on, huh?
Shut up. Who retweeted our tweet. Little Mac 02, or I'm correct, Little Mac Live is his Twitch channel. Definitely drop him a follow. He's a good friend. He's an amazing friend. Shout out to... If I could find it. Shout out to the Stoned Artist Poet, or Stormborn 1966. Which... Yeah, and another shout out to the other guy that I can't say his name. Synth Firm TTS, or FL Made Synth. Thank you for doing that. You definitely didn't have to, but thank you. And also we should be hosting and premiering our TikTok soon as well. So hopefully we can definitely start getting some clips of that uploaded on there, and also probably just some day in the life stuff that me and Mike do, as our original and normal lives outside from this.
Yeah.
WAP dance is what Thermostatic wants, is the WAP dance. Can't
Who wants
promise
to grab a
that.
bucket and a mop?
Can't promise that. Can't promise that. But yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. This will be on YouTube within the hour. Within the hour. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm your host, Ruben.
I'm your host, Mike, and
And
it's
we
been a
will,
great night with y'all.
yes, we will be seeing you later. See you guys.